I think the best thing I ever did was say this dream out loud to the people who care about me the most. And when you're stuck, you raise your hand.
Having someone that can be there with you to navigate that without any sort of judgment.
I'm Michelle.
And I'm Whitney. This is the Use Your Fear podcast.
I personally don't think any human should keep up with how many reels I send in a day. Like, I think one day you need like a week to catch up because that's the level I'm at.
Maybe
right
we
now.
should like put you at a limit for the day. Once you hit this, you can't send anymore.
Can I just say,
Yeah.
you're not going to believe me when I tell you this. I actually, like, in my head, I'm like, is this really important? So there's actually, like, I'm filtering myself. Like,
And
there's
yet it
more.
still comes out as it is important.
I'm like, but this is really good. This one really made me laugh, and I bet it'll make them laugh. Oh, this is only halfway funny. I won't send this one. I only
Yes,
send
and
you
you
the
still
good
send
stuff.
it. Are you sure?
No, I promise. I will turn it up. Don't tease me.
Don't. I will
Don't
be even.
tempt me.
I just will avoid that text thread in social media.
No.
If you turn it up, I will.
Well, you don't believe me. I like to test things.
Go big or go home.
And you're like, Michelle, go to sleep.
Right? Texting me. I think the last two nights you texted me, one was at like 8 o'clock and one was at like 12:30. And I was like, you do know I go to bed early.
I know. That's the beauty of text messages, though. You read them when you want to.
But then I wake up in the middle of the night to go potty and I read it and then I forget you texted me. Because I can't have 5 million alerts on my text thread.
You mean like 110, or no, I think I'm up to 111,000 emails.
Oh, dear
right?
God.
You're stressed out right now.
I'm so stressed out right now. Where's my stress ball? Oh, God. They're all at work. I need some fucking sage in here. Gotta, like, smudge the shit out of this office now.
We need to sage the shit out of this place, for sure.
I need to sage you.
Your face needs to be saged.
Ooh, I did shave.
Anyway.
All right. So, since the last time.
Oh, yeah.
Hello,
Hi, Hello,
Buffalo.
Buffalo. Shit. Good morning. Oh, my God.
Hi. Afternoon.
About that.
About that.
My high was going to Dallas and seeing my dad and stepmom for Memorial Weekend. We hadn't been out there, God, since last year, I think. Or I haven't anyway. I think it was longer for the hubby. But yeah, we just had a good, like, just relaxing weekend. We haven't gone anywhere at all this year because I've been sick and all kinds of other stuff. So, I've been sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been sad. I haven't felt depression in a while. And I've been feeling it lately. I think it's hard when you are in like intense therapy and then you get out and you're trying to figure out kind of your
How to balance between the two.
yeah, like what's the new dance, right? Like what are the daily practices? And I have so many daily practices because I'm like meditation and, you know, be with my own thoughts and yeah.
Don't do them all.
daily journal and therapy, and then the recap after therapy, and then, oh, I just saw this TED Talk. Let me write notes about that. And like, I've just been really diving into my thoughts, feelings, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what my buffalo is? My buffalo is like having, oh, and my high too. Like having you here, like us recording, which we've already talked about. But like when you left, it was just like, oh, I'm doing this thing. And then I was so nervous when you were here and we were in person. Now I feel like I feel more normal, if that makes sense, which is annoying. It's like, why can't I be on when I need to be on, you know? And I think that's always like just an
Stage
internal
fright
struggle.
almost.
Yeah.
That fear of actually making it happen.
You know what it is?
Is that why you take so long to get ready for these?
I was about to say, you know what it is? I can see myself and I feel more comfortable being
So we should just do all of them this way and not in person.
No, we need to do, I want to do in person, but we have to figure out a way where I actually like, I feel good when I can see the scene. I think it's like the marketing person in me. It's like when I'm at a news station segment or something and we're on camera and I can see what's live, and then I can also see from the camera's angle, from the audience perspective. Like I'm always looking at both. It's just my little idiosyncrasy. And I've been doing a lot of observations in that and realizations about myself. I feel like I'm getting to know myself on a whole new level. Like I'm actually acknowledging parts of myself that I always like, oh no, I'm totally low maintenance, guys. Like that was who I was channeling.
Since I just made.
I know. I cannot help but be high maintenance. But you're told,
she is the podcast princess.
How about you, Whitney? Can I please stop talking? What is your high, low, and buffalo, please?
Oh man, I would say similar high. I also got to go up to Dallas and see family. I saw my mom in town from Utah. She was assisting my sister with a launch for her new venture. She's doing a boutique where she's helping like sell local vendors' clothes and things like that. And it's really cute stuff. I got to stay at my sister's house, hang out with my brother-in-law. My son got to see his cousins, got to see my brother and his girlfriend and their new house. It's adorable. So that was, I would say that's definitely a high, getting to go and see family that we haven't seen in a while. My low hasn't quite happened yet, but it was the decision that we're putting our dog down coming up. He's, I'm going to cry. He's over 12. He's just, having a hard time recently, and we haven't told our son yet. He's not going to take it well. So his sister is actually coming down tomorrow, and she's bringing some kits to like do paw prints, and I'm going to get some shadow box to put Shadowfax's collar in for her and get some pictures printed and stuff. And so Tuesday that's happening, and we'll all be there as a family to let him pass over the rainbow. So that's definitely my low. Got to bring in the tears already. I know.
I want to give you a hug right now, and I can't.
It's hard to lose a member of your family. Like,
it's the hardest. Though
he's not the cuddly type.
Yes, he is.
He hasn't been in a long time. He'll just come up to you and let you pet him. And as he gets older, he's even less cuddly. But I mean, he's over 12. We've had him for over 12 years. And he was around before my son was born. Yeah. Same with our cat that passed away a couple years ago. So you can tell that our other dog knows that he's not well, because she'll help like steer him and guide him places and stuff. So, or she'll like hang out with him. And so that's my low. And then I guess, Buffalo. I mean, it's not overly surprising, but I'm in transition from my position as a district manager into settling in at one venue. I'm still wearing double hats, but I have painted my office and set it all up, and everybody loves it. They keep coming in, and I've got like my oil diffuser, and the walls are periwinkle with my yellow chairs that I got for free on Facebook Marketplace. And and we have our new manager in, so like I can see the beginning of a really great next chapter of my career. And I'm looking forward to it. I actually had a call from a colleague inquiring myself about a position in another state. And I was like, well, I just accepted this role. And he's like, oh yeah, no, that's more than what we could offer you. So, but I just, that was also surprising that while feeling like I suck at what I do, and then having these moments of success, and then having other people call and say, you would be perfect here. Like, that's very reassuring that this is the right step for me that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, wow, just get right into it. Get real deep.
I know, you're just crying right out the gate. Welcome back to Use Your Fear, where we get into the honest, sometimes hilarious ways where life is lifing and we are facing fears, coming out stronger. It's real talk, best friend banter, and a little hope when you need it most.
So this is part 3 of our launch series, Am I Enough? We are running on empty, burnout, sobriety, and being too much. So today we're naming the cost of constantly chasing enoughness, how it leads to burnout, to emotional crash, and to losing ourselves trying to be what others expect.
Running on empty. Sorry, I got to. I can't. I was like holding that in so much. Yeah. So, because there's no crying, because
no
you already cried.
In baseball.
You already cried. You filled the crying quota.
I did, and I'm not a crier. So
no, you're not. I'm the crier. So
yes,
I have to keep my shit together now. Whew, pressure's on. But yeah, no, burnout hits the hardest for me. It's been a cycle of mine for way too long. I'm actually able to admit it's a cycle now and sit with it. And it's what happens literally like when our body, mind, everything says, nope, got nothing for you, and is completely empty. So we'll get into that.
Yeah. So I wanted to start this off with, obviously, I don't know if it's obvious, but
Obvious.
I love to read books. So I'm currently reading a series, and there was a really great quote that came through it, and I wanted to send it to you, Michelle, but it's probably, I was like, oh, she's asleep, I'm not going to send it to her, even though you like to text me when I'm asleep.
I don't
which
sleep.
Is fine. But it was about fear. So I'm reading the series called The Game Gods Play. It's about the Greek gods, Zeus, Hades, Persephone, all the things. It's by Abigail Owen. It's the first book in the Crucible series. And in one of them, so the gods pick mortals to battle each other, essentially, and whoever is the ultimate winner becomes the next god. So there is this war, and they're trying to Zeus can't be the god all the time. So that's what this book is about. But In one of the competitions, they have flags on them that represent different pieces. There's a flag on their head to represent mind. If they lose that flag, then their mind is gone and they become confused. There's one on the spine for strength. And if that's gone, then your fear comes in. And so in the book, she loses the strength one and her fear has come through, but she's battled a lot of fear in her life already. So the quote was, because fear isn't debilitating, not when you lean into it, not when you listen to it for what it is. It's a warning, your body's way of telling you to live, to fight or flee, or even sometimes freeze so that you survive. Fear is a tool. I just really liked that. When I read it, I was like, ooh, this is exactly the things that we're talking about. And it just really hit home for me. And so I wanted to kind of just start this episode off with that quote from that book that I'm still reading. And it's really good. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I really resonate with the part where you're sitting with it, because I think my gut, part of my burnout, part of the beginning cycle of that is to immediately stuff it down. Like, oh, don't show up and scared or in a negative way. Like, you got to, be positive. You have to present in a positive way in order to lead people and move forward. So you can't show that you're scared. I'll just face that later. And then as you keep stuffing it down, you never sit with it and wonder why. And then it builds like a bunch of gunk in your guts.
Yeah. No, I mean, it really did resonate with me. She used the adrenaline from her fear to force her to push forward and to run through this obstacle that she had to run through. So a little bit more of the visual, physical kind of, example of it, but it doesn't have to be. And I really it stopped me. It's the first time in a book that I was just like, oh, that I like that. So thank you, Abigail. Loving your book so far.
I just called her Abby, like we're best friends.
Abby. Yeah. What up, Abs? What up? That's fine. Maybe she wants to be. I don't know.
Maybe. Who wouldn't?
Burnout is very...
It's quiet.
It is. It is not... Like, I always think of burnout as the image of the boiling the frog. Like, if you were to toss a frog in boiling water, I just keep bringing up shit that Pete is going to be pissed at me about. It would hop out, but if you put it in water and it's, I know, sorry. But if you put it in water and you slowly raise the temperature, it will burn you, and you won't know until it's already done it. And you've gone through so long, like it's not an instant. Your body is getting used to it as things change. And that's how I always imagine burnout.
Well, also, if you think about it, when it arrives, you're in the middle of a ton of things. And so you don't have time to be like, oh, I'm sorry, feeling a fear right now. Let me just pause for a second. Like,
there's
take
no
5,
time
guys.
There's no time for fear when you are feeding 1,000 kids at one time.
There's that. Or there's working an event and the wind picks up and takes the tent, 10 feet away and almost hits a kid. Like, maybe or not, that's happened in my lifetime. Hey.
Bumblebee. My Bumblebee tattoo. I got that with my girlfriends. We were doing an event that was stressing us out. And that's remember, you can't always control everything. So that was our reminder. Bumblebee.
So it could be something deeper than that comes up, and you're like, oh, that doesn't serve with me. I'm going to move forward and show up, how I need to show up in this situation. And then you never go back to the fear, because why would you? So you just stuff it down and you don't pay attention. You don't even know what it is. You're just living the life that you're living. And then it just keeps building. Like I said, like bunch of gunk in your gut. And you can't stop or everything's going to fall apart, right? And because you're not sitting with it, you're shoving it down or you're pushing it aside, you're actually disconnecting from your body, because The fear is a data point. It's just telling you information about your environment.
So do you have any good, like, experiences yourself that really, that I know you say that you have this cycle that you're always going through. Like, what does that look like?
I knew you were going to ask me this question. So uncomfortable.
Sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Right out the gate, Whitney. Right out the gate.
It's fine.
So
I already cried.
Yeah, and now I'm not allowed to. So what am I going to do for the fear now? That was my coping mechanism. Okay.
Find something else.
For me, goodness. I think because I like you said, you kind of dance on the fear of being too much. I dance on the fear of being too much and not enough at the same time. And didn't realize I was doing that. Didn't realize I had that insecurity deep inside of me. Because why? It didn't serve me. It wasn't nice. It wasn't pretty. So I just kept stuffing it down. And I'm going to show up as a positive person, and I'm going to channel Mary Poppins and have every single thing in my bag ready to go for this event, and think of, be hyper vigilant and think about all the things that can go wrong so you're prepared. But that's, as a marketer, that's good planning. So that has served me in my life. But yeah, it starts where I'm a people pleaser at the end of the day. I'm trying to show up like I have my shit together. And I also know what it feels like when people are disappointed, or when you're at an event, you're excited to be there, but it kind of falls apart. And it not only misrepresents you, even heavier, it misrepresents the brand that you're working for too.
Have you ever had, and this is where I get into the instance where, so not this past school year, the one before, we had a huge event, spent all year planning for it, multiple days, 3,500 people, planning it with my managers at the venue that's hosting it, had everything figured out. Because it's not the first one I've done. And this happens, I feel like, every time we host this event. My bosses come in and change everything. And to me, that's the piece that is the worst, because I got stuck running this hospitality suite, and they kept stealing my help. They were supposed to be helping me with my side of the event. And then they kept stealing them for this big tent. And I'm like, this is not at all how this was. And then they get mad at me for, things that are going wrong. And I'm like, you did this, not me. But ultimately it lands back on you. It does. And that's the piece that gets me, is doing all this planning and organizing. And then somebody else not involved in it comes in and, well, I know better. I'm going to change everything.
I've never had anybody do that, Whitney. Yes. I think because that has happened to me, that has turned my hypervigilance into alignment. Like, I over-align. I over-communicate, because you'd rather do that than not, right? So,
yeah.
Again, that served me as, a good marketer growing up by my bootstraps. But as I got older and being more in a leadership role, it's like, what are you doing? Like, you're focusing on all the teeny tiny things. You're not looking at the big picture. So it's hard to, again, are you too much or are you not enough?
Yeah, I'm similar. Like, I will over explain everything that's going on because I want everyone to understand where I'm coming from, why this is happening, things like that. And then I'll get from leadership, if I'm trying to explain something, it's, oh, you're making excuses, or you're saying too many things.
Right.
And
Just
that's where that too much. And I'm just like, it makes you feel like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Like, do I explain it so you understand where I'm coming from and why I'm putting so much effort into this? Or is that the wrong thing? And yeah, it's a hard cycle.
It is. And on top of that, like, I've been told that my communication is overcomplicated. It is. I completely agree. Don't laugh.
I'm sorry.
But again, in my head, I'd rather be too thorough, like think of all the things, then we get there and then, oh shit, I didn't realize that. So in my head, when I'm drawing up communication, right, like I'll put together, I don't know, an event execution plan or a new restaurant opening agenda or something like that. And you put all of the teeny tiny things, and because yeah, you're right, you're damned if you do or you're damned if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you like, part of the burnout, right, is that you are overthinking in your head how this email is coming through, how this document is coming through. So on top of spending all the extra hours on the teeny tiny details of an event, party, whatever you're planning, whatever you're doing, that's on top of your existing life, you're also looking at all the communication that's going out to all the stakeholders in the event. And some people, you have to meet people where they're at. I'm a marketer. You have to look at your customer. What's the best way for them to receive this information? Not what's the best way for me to send this out. It's how are they going to receive it? So then I'm on top of that spending the extra mental load combing through all the communication, combing through, am I prepared for this event? Then I hype myself up. I can't sleep, right? Because I'm like, is this going to go well? And then the event happens, and then it's like a high because you're like, this is badass. I'm awesome. My people are awesome. We're kicking butt. And then you get this high, and you can't relax after that. It's like you're either continue to go with the hype, you're doing the next event and then the next event, and seasons ebb and flow. There's busier times of the year, there's slower times of the year. And the busy times of the year, you don't listen to, you need to take a break. Or if you do try to take a break, I don't know about you, but I'm like, can you just relax? Please relax. Why can't you relax? I need to relax. Like, it's like, why can't I just relax? Or you're like, oh, I can relax for an hour, take a nap, and then you can't get up.
I do. That's what I do. I go into shutdown mode when I have done so much that I'm like, I'll go take a nap, and then I end up napping 3 or 4 times in the weekend, and I can't get out of bed, and I'm exhausted, and it's just this nonstop, I can't do anything else because I'm so burnt out and so exhausted from everything that's been going on. My personal life, none of that matters at this point. It's just stay in bed, sleep, put your headache hat on, read, fall asleep.
Yeah. And then, because when you stop, sometimes you can't start back up because you've exhausted yourself. But then in that time frame, in your head, you built out this plan, right? For execute this, do this, go to this event. And then I'm going to have this downtime. And then the downtime doesn't work out the way it's supposed to, right? Mm-mm. And then, because it never does, let's be real.
No.
Then you have the shame on top of it that I didn't rest like I was supposed to. Oh my gosh, I was supposed to do this thing for this next event, but I rested instead. And then when you're resting, you're constantly thinking about the things that you still have to get done. Like, you can't, the disconnect, like, and that's why I think people with, like me, will go into disassociation mode, where I'm completely like looking at Instagram reels of cats and sending it to my friends.
And not just one, like a million.
Yeah. They're adorable, okay.
And the other piece that I get too is I may have an expectation of this is how I'm going to relax. And then because of the role that I'm in, and again, this is another reason why I've decided to not be a district manager anymore, is, well, you should have spent that time doing this instead.
You live in the shoulds. I should have done that.
Oh God, yeah.
Should have done
There's
this.
zero, well, from leadership from our home office, things like that. Well, hey, this is overdue. And I'm like, I don't have time to do this stupid project. Like I am physically working in a venue sometimes, most times.
Well, I have a theory. I'm going to ask you first.
Okay.
Where do you think that comes from? What's the root of it?
You know, I think myself, I've always been overly independent because I've had to do a lot on my own. I was just thinking about this. My daughter is driving from Fort Worth to Austin and she's terrified of it. She's 20. I was like, girl, I was driving back and forth to Oklahoma and Kansas and stuff and back at 18.
I was wrecking my best friend's car.
I did that later in life. I was over 21. But you were. Those little things that to me, I've just always done. I've always been that doer. Like we went on a family trip and to Disney World and with my mom and my sister and my stepsister and the kids. And they're like, wow, you're just so good at just figuring it out and navigating. And I'm like, I've always had to. That's just how it's
Coping
been.
mechanism.
Right. And so maybe that's for me, the hard part is that I've always been that way. I've always been left to my own devices and figured things out. When I was running my own venue, I never saw my manager, my district manager. I never saw them. I never saw our area or regional manager. Like I just never did. And I was still getting accolades for the things that we did. And I step into this next role and all I feel like is a failure and that I'm just constantly doing it wrong. And I don't know if it's a mix of I'm constantly being molded and guided in different directions and that doesn't suit me because that's not how I work anymore because I'm very independent in the way I like to do things. I do like to collaborate. I do like to, but I'm a problem solver.
Yeah.
But then the other piece is it's like, I constantly feel like I'm disappointing everybody above me. And not even gonna lie, there's so many similarities between my boss and my mom that is truly probably a reason why I don't think I can work for her. You know, I don't think she's a bad person by any means. I just don't think that she and I get like our personalities don't work. So I do think that everybody, the way they are in life as an adult is a learned behavior. Learning too from sitting at a dinner with my boss, our COO, and a client, and the COO is new to the company, and we're sitting there talking. My boss and our client are talking about their children and themselves being in golf, being members of private country clubs and private golf courses and all that, like, oh, let's get a second house and this and I'm like, we are on different levels. I do not resonate with any of this. And that could be part of it too, is that none of this, like I'm over here thinking, we're going to start our wellness farm and go live in overalls and muck boots for the rest of our lives, making podcasts, painting. Adriel's going to be marketing for us and we're going to have a farm and we're going to have goats and we're going to have a llama named Tina and like different goals in life. And I think that affects the relationships you have too. Where do people come from? What are the people's background? What is their expectations out of life? What have they been, you know, how did they grow up? how did we grow up? What do we want out of life? All of that affects it all. And I've taken that a lot in lately. Again, thank you to you for sharing your therapy for free with me. Same with my sister and Adriel. Like, it's just...
I should start charging you.
I think waiting on here for 2 hours is good.
Oh, I do charge you.
So I think there's so much more that goes into it that nothing's ever one-sided. There's multiple sides. And we get to the point where we're having these expectations that maybe we're putting on ourselves based on what we think we're getting from other people. And maybe they are the expectations they want. Maybe it's not. And then this is what you and I do. We go, go, go. And we do the first event. We do the second event. We keep going. We keep going. We don't stop. We don't take breaks. We don't think about ourselves. We just do. And we burn out.
Mm-hmm. Can't fill anybody else's cup with an empty cup, Missy.
No. I used to fill my cup with wine and Jameson and beer. Don't do that anymore. That's a good segue. Yeah, that was the point.
So tell me more about that.
No, I think, there's multiple ways to cope with burnout. And for me, we've talked about your quick fixes and the toxic
self-help
positivity. Book. Yes. For me, for a long time, I think another piece of it was when my son was so young, it was trying to figure out the best way to not have him in daycare and stuff like that. Have him being around and raised by his parents. And so my husband and I worked opposite shifts. I was days, he was nights and weekends. And I didn't work nights and weekends. So it was like 2 ships passing in the night for a long time. Then you'd have something would happen. Something would stress you out. And you'd be like, I deserve that glass of wine. Well, I deserve a whole bottle of wine. It turned into, I can't have one and put it down. And then realizing that, alcoholism does run in my family. My dad was a recovered alcoholic. He was at 18 years when he passed away. So I never got the chance to talk to him about my sobriety. Monday is 2,000 days for me. I'm over 5 years.
I know.
I know. So it was hard though. Like at the beginning, it's so weird how of all the different things you could do, like drug wise, this is the one that people have the hardest time understanding why you're quitting it.
Yeah, because it's social. It's everybody has like a little happy hour, a little glass of wine. Yeah, cheers to us. Like just a little champagne.
If you're someone who can have one and put it down and that's it, oh my God, that's amazing. I can't. That is not me. So it was changing who I felt like I was. I felt like I was being sneaky and hiding stuff from my husband. I didn't feel like I was being a good mom. I mean, everybody drank. Like I would find myself thinking, well, they have a glass of wine at, lunch in Italy. Like that's fine. And think, trying to like make excuses that I was okay. And I did it for a long time. And it was always a question in my head for a very long time that I finally made the decision that it wasn't what served me. It took a long time to say that I was an alcoholic or I was on the verge of being an alcoholic. There's no one size fits all to issues like that. Like somebody's rock bottom. You don't have to hit rock bottom to know that you're having a problem. I was very functioning. I was running a venue. I had, doing all the things with the family. I never stopped. So on top of burnout, add drinking to it. That is not a good mix. It's shameful to think about at this point, I embrace the shame that came from drinking. But during the time, having a glass or having a bottle of wine, sometimes it might be 2 bottles of wine. Well, Eric's at work and I have to hide these bottles so he doesn't know how much I drink.
Yeah.
Like, that's shameful. Put my
it's
son to bed
natural.
a little earlier so that I can have a glass of wine sooner because I didn't want to drink in front of him.
Mommy time. Mommy juice time.
And that was the whole thing, is like that's such a big culture, the mommy juice. And it's not a good life for me.
Yeah, not when you can't be healthy with it, right? And I didn't, to add on to what you were talking about, I didn't even plan to talk about this. It's fine. I have a binge eating disorder. And so as you were talking about alcohol and hiding it, I've had dinner with my husband. He'll go upstairs and then I'll have a craving for something else and I'll Uber Eats myself something. And, it could be a bag of candy from Walgreens. Yes, I have done that before. Sour Patch Kids, my favorite at one time. And, or it's just, I don't know, Popeyes has a new sandwich out or something, like it's some kind of new taco or new burger. And I keep seeing it everywhere. And I'm a marketer and I love that stuff. And I love food, by the way. It's
delicious.
It's one of my favorite things to do is to go to a restaurant with friends, family, and you just order everything on the menu and you just have like a big smorgasbord and you just have the best time where you guys are talking, laughing. Oh my God, try this queso, like try this drink. Like you just go all out and get the full experience of sitting at a restaurant because you just get lost in the moment. And for me, I don't know if I was holding on to that and that was so soothing to me that then I would turn that into having my own little smorgasbords and yeah, I didn't even realize I was doing it at the time. And I would get cravings sometimes for salty things for a while, and then I would get cravings for something super soft, and then I realized, I just found out that's also an ADHD thing. And a lot of people with ADHD have some kind
salty
of
crunchy.
Yeah, like some kind of it's almost like a stemming behavior, and because it's soothing. And so to me, like that fluffy taste of a fresh donut, right away.
Oh,
like
God.
Yeah, like
or I can't even eat them right now.
Same, girl. Yeah, we both just found out we have allergies. Super allergies.
Getting old sucks.
It really does. I don't recommend it at all.
No.
And I have not binged since March 23rd. I remember the day. And
I remember the last day I drank.
Yeah. And I had that urge in the last week. But because of like all the allergy stuff I'm going through, I just ate a few extra of my sweet treats, but I was almost out of them anyway. So life actually like got in the way there and helped me out. But it's so easy. It's just so soothing because you haven't sat with what's wrong, because all you're trying to do is go be positive, be happy, eat something that tastes good, and then go work out afterwards and get the high from running and go. and that like our habits on top of lifing adds to the burnout. It's not just one thing. It's all culminating together. And as you search for more ways to soothe the burnout, because you know it's coming, you can feel it. Let's fill that with good. And you think you're doing it with good, but you're not. They're only like the short dopamine bursts.
I was just thinking, I wonder if having ADHD and falling into that burnout mode, like how those really correlate together. Because you are always looking for that dopamine high as someone with ADHD, and when you keep pushing down the fear of whatever it is and you just keep going until you hit that burnout, like, are we just still like searching for that recognition, that appreciation, that final moment that might be what we need, and then we end up just crashing and burning and not even hitting our goal, or getting into that binging, getting into the drinking? Like, I feel like they're all connected.
I do too. And I felt that way when you were talking about your drinking. And I also, it just also hit me like from being a kid, right? It was all about, let's get the chore list done. You know, anything that you want to do is after the chore list. And then I just, man, this is hard. I'm like trying to be as honest as I can, but I'm also like struggling.
If you close your eyes,
you can't see me.
Close your eyes.
I can't see you. Can you see me?
I can't see you. I can't see you.
Sorry, I'm grounding. It's my new.
It's okay.
It's my new technique.
I like it.
I'm trying.
I think that finding a healthier way to, you know, address the stress and the fears of things is important. For me, it was definitely don't drink alcohol. I do love me some Diet Coke.
You do.
My husband was like, I've been having GI issues and I'm going to see a GI doctor next week.
Welcome to the club.
And I know my lady doctor was like, it might be diverticulosis. And I was like, the fuck? But he's like, maybe you need to stop drinking Diet Coke. And I'm like, don't put that on me. Don't put that on me.
Hang on now.
Woman. No. I've already gotten rid of a lot of my things.
Right?
Don't take
Let me
that
just have
too.
one thing. Just
God,
one.
I don't drink. I don't do drugs. Give me something. Give me my Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
But then it's like, is this my new?
Mm-hmm.
This is my new
mm-hmm.
crutch.
Mm-hmm.
Healthier crutch, but still. It used to be working out. It changes. It can be anything.
It could be getting lost in an Amazon shopping list like I did in the last 30 days.
You can beat one way of handling something. There's going to be another. I'm constantly looking at Facebook Marketplace. But I think that you can fall into the same pattern with healthier stuff without, like always going to that glass of wine for the escape. What am I treating myself with now?
Right. And then that's when you're solo. But then when you're with other people, I think it's all about masking. I think it's all about, like, oh, cheers to my, me and my girlfriend, or,
I'm an energy matcher.
Yes.
I'm such an energy matcher. And I think it's because I've always tried to match the grandiose of my family. We don't have quiet people in our family.
What?
And that's always the thing. Everyone can hear me before they see me. So
Same. It's all right.
yeah, it's okay.
I see you. I hear you.
I see you and I hear you. But it is all that part of fitting in, and that when you're with the other people, masking, how do you match them energy to energy? How are you performing? You're always.
I started talking about when I was younger, and then I had to take a breath, talking about the list. And I've always been someone who put a lot on my plate, because I saw as the more things that I did, the bigger the applause. Either it's cleaning the whole house top to bottom to help my parents out, or taking care of the barn, the animals.
Is this why you hate cleaning your house now?
Yes. I'm burnt out, and I'm just uncovering this actually, because I feel like there's a part of me, like a burnt out part of Michelle that, yes, did all the chores, and then to disassociate and get away from the chores because she got burned out, she then joined all of the clubs and sports and got into band and was head cheerleader and was first chair clarinet and was, doubles tennis and one act play and all this other stuff. So I could then totally dive into the accolades on there and wear a mask and go, 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 go. Look at me. Like, you want to always look like you have it together. You can't, it doesn't look good to be like, hey guys, I just need a break. I'm not going to be at that game. I'm not going to do that thing. I'm not going to that tournament. I need to rest. Who does that? Losers, right? Like that's how we grew up. Yes. Or like FOMO, fear of missing out. Like, you get lost in the sauce, and
literally.
And then you just dive further into the next thing. And it's just a cycle. And this is the burnout cycle that I have noticed. And it's that emotional cost of always performing, to the point where, because I stuffed down my true feelings about things because they didn't quote unquote serve me, I lost track of who I was. I'm still getting to know the real me right now. To be honest, I'm 42 years old, and I'm trying to meet me completely, because I have shown up the way I thought other people wanted me to show up, how they needed me, because their needs were more important, because I could check that off the list right now. Me, I can do later. I can do that later in my spare time. But right now I have Whitney in front of me, and I'm going to check that box right now. Screw whatever I need right now. Screw if I have the flu or
all
whatever.
Over.
Yeah. But that's that emotional cost. And then if you keep doing that, and then it ebbs and flows, right? Where you do crash and you do, can't do anything. But if you don't fully rest, if you don't fully listen to your body, your mind, you lose yourself. I would inundate every spare moment. I'm almost done, I promise. This is a soapbox that I will die on. This. When I was by myself here in the last, 5 years or so, let's say, give or take, I have inundated myself with, I need to learn at all times. I need to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. And so I need to, when I'm by myself, listen to a podcast, listen to an audiobook while I'm moving my body, or reading this book, or looking at this article, or doing this research online for this other brand that I didn't know about that could be a competitor. Tell me about it. But this is what, if you don't stop and turn off all of the noise, because you're literally disassociating from your own self, from your own thoughts, from your own feelings, But you get what I'm saying. That silence is so nice.
I hear a lot of it because I shut down.
Yeah.
When things get too hard, I shut down. And I think that's a learned emotion too, as I read more about it, is when things are too hard, I think, or too scary, like even just a conversation. I feel like it's that rejection syndrome all over again. It's
there's that.
Yeah, it is. So you disassociate. I shut down.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There are times that I'm like, I don't even feel like there's anything going on up in here. I don't hear anything, you know, like I think it's just literally my brain saying stop.
Or you beat her to death and she's afraid
maybe.
to say anything.
That might be it too. Are you okay up there? I love you.
I've been having conversations with myself like that. Yes.
It makes, never mind.
What? Maybe I don't want you to say this. Maybe it's going to get too woo woo. Are we going to go woo woo?
Oh, we're going to go weird. So obviously I like to read and I'm in my fantasy world.
Yeah. Disassociate.
Because I don't want to read. I don't want to, disassociating from regular life. I want things that I can read about that don't actually happen.
Disassociating is not always unhealthy,
Yes.
PS.
No, but some of the books I read are about, you know, people being shifters or, you know, and they talk to their wolf inside of them or their animal inside of them. And that's just what it made me think of is I'm talking to my inner wolf.
Baby Whitney Wolf, are you okay up there? Woof woof.
No, I'm sad and I'm hiding.
Again, that leads to the more of the cycle of the burnout is because you're told you're too sensitive, you're too loud, you're too intense. And so then you're constantly thinking about, oh, I'm too big. I need to shrink myself, but I need to communicate this stuff, but I can't be too big about it. But I need to do all this other stuff, but I can't look like I want it too much. And
I get that I'm too sensitive because as soon as I have to have a hard conversation, I have to talk and I can't shut down and not talk, I burst into tears.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to say things. It's hard to voice what? I don't know.
Why?
Shit,
shame?
I know. Yeah. Shame, feeling like, well, the other piece too is then doubting what you're thinking and saying when the other person may be a better arguer or have a better way of saying things so that they make you question what you're thinking and feeling, if you're wrong or if you're like you saw it in a different way. And
because you're comparing yourself, you're living in the world of should. I should show up like this person. I should be more like them. Why can't I do things like that? You're constantly beating yourself, telling yourself how terrible you are and how great everybody else is. So what does that do? That kills who you actually are. So then you're sitting here being small and trying to fit into being a pretzel and trying to fit into the shape that you think that someone wants you to fit into. And then you're second guessing everything that comes out of your mouth and how you're saying it. But there's this person who eloquently just comes into the room and says and does whatever they want, and it sounds like poetry. But that's the unrealistic expectations that we put on ourselves and others, by the way, sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I think about that as a parent so much that, you know, being the youngest, being the one that didn't match the idea of
The black sheep?
Yeah, the black sheep, the one that went and got all the tattoos, the one that wanted to really showcase who her identity was and that it was different from who who my parents thought I should be. You know, it was a generational thing. I think of this is like our parents, probably their parents were like, we didn't have social media. We didn't have internet. We didn't have all these tools that we have now to figure out who we are. And their parents basically were like, no, this is who you are. This is who you're going to be. And this represents me. And getting out of that systematic, like, idea of like, it's hard. And I think for me, it was like, I don't want that. And then being myself, I don't know how to not be myself is the other thing too.
That's what I love about you.
You will try to shove me in this box and I won't go. I just won't. And that is when the issues come about, because I'm not following directions and I'm not conforming and I'm not doing this, that, or the other the right way. And to me, so it's not I'm shrinking myself. It's I'm gonna be myself and I can't not be myself. And I will try to shrink myself, but I can't.
A little.
I do edit. But then it's I get in trouble because I didn't edit enough or I didn't change enough. And then it turns into the shutdown mode because I'm in trouble for being who I am.
And mine's the exact opposite.
Which again is why we're best friends.
For me, I've already twisted into a pretzel. I didn't even think twice about it. I'm already like upside down, twirled in like a I don't know, a snake almost. And then all of a sudden, because I've twisted so hard, I've broken a rib. And now I'm like, ow, what? And then now I can't twist into any more pretzels. I got to take a break. My whole body and everything said no. And now, I live with shame about disappointing people.
Is this why I'm seen as a troublemaker friend?
Yes.
That is the other piece that is really hard.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not a troublemaker, but being seen by friends' parents that I'm the reason their kid is a certain way or this, that, or the other is so hard. Because you don't just get it from your parents, you get it from your best friend's parents.
Well, it's you're representing them as their child, right? Like do good, make the family proud, and then that translates later to your own family, and then you put those on your own kids, and that also translates to work. You're representing a company.
You knew who I was when you promoted me.
True.
They thought that they could put me in a box and obviously didn't realize they couldn't.
See, I'll twist myself so much into a pretzel and they're like, why can't you just be real? And I'm like,
it is exhausting both ways.
It is.
And then, I know I'm loud. I know I have a loud laugh. I laugh a lot. I love laughing. Like, we should be happy. And
amen, sister.
Then as soon as I'm not laughing, it's like, what's wrong?
What's wrong with you?
Okay.
Are you okay? Why are you so sad? Oh my God, you didn't put makeup on. Are you okay?
Why aren't you smiling? What's wrong? Why are
What's
you
the
walking
matter?
so fast? Yes.
That's my focus face. This is my game face, okay? Like
I'm sorry I'm walking fast. I started walking fast and I can't stop walking fast.
I'm thinking about all the 10 million things behind my head, like being hyper vigilant, trying to make sure nothing goes wrong. And in the middle of that, you're asking me what's wrong.
I am looking for something and my face is like this because I will forget what I'm looking for if you talk to me.
Yes.
If you say shiny, I'll go, oh, and then I'll forget what I was doing.
Completely.
That's why my face is like this.
You know what I just thought of?
What?
I literally was throwing a pep rally for myself in my head on the daily, because I thought that when my natural, like how I wake up isn't good enough, because she's angry at the world.
Yeah, because the alarm just woke her up. Fuck that shit.
No, I turned into a super morning person. I've never been a morning person.
That's why I go to bed so early.
Well, I got into the habit of getting up at 4:30, 5 a.m. every single morning. No, but I was turning myself into something I was not, to show up correct, to come correct. Because I thought when I was chill that I missed shit, that I wasn't sharp, I wasn't good enough, I didn't do the job right, I missed something, I made mistakes when I let my guard down. I haven't operated from a place of calm, which was great as an employee, as someone starting out, go getter, go, 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 go. But at 42 years old, that's not cute anymore. And I don't know yet how to approach things from a calm place, because right now in my head, I'm like, this isn't good enough. You need to be, hi, I'm Michelle, and I like this, and we are going to talk about that. And that is the Michelle that I am constantly trying to channel and turn on and throw a pep rally for.
That's exhausting. I think you definitely mask a lot more than I do. Yeah. I just am and won't conform. And then I become too much, too big, and not the right fit. And then I will also energy match for too long, because I do have high energy that I can have in bursts and stuff, but I will energy match people for longer than I should. And that's when I also get to the burnout.
Yeah.
But you definitely mask
from the beginning.
Way more.
I don't even think about it, because I don't even know my own real thoughts and feelings. That's it. I've already shoved them to the side. That doesn't matter. What matters is who is in front of me and what they need from me right now. Screw what I need. And so I've already twisted myself into a pretzel. And then when that's not good enough, and that people get mad because that wasn't what they wanted, ooh, I get bitter. And that's the codependency. We're like, I just bent into this pretzel for you and you don't appreciate me. Like, that's what happens.
Yeah.
And then I'm bitter. And then because I'm bitter, then I feel shame. Why can't I just have a good attitude? Why can't I just, everybody else seems to be laughing and having a good time. Why am I here sitting in the corner?
That's a lot.
Is it?
I mean, it's definitely different from the way I am about things, but just hearing it from you like that, yeah, I see it. I recognize it. So what are you doing now to try, now that you see it? Like, what are you doing to protect yourself from falling into that cycle?
Number one, I mean, therapy. Like, that's number one.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. And I'm really surprised I also did group therapy, and I was like, this is going to be stupid, but it was like actually incredibly impactful. And but that work that I did taught me how to love myself for the first time. Like, I can now look at my reflection and say, I love that person. I love myself. And I have never said that my entire life. I hated myself. I didn't know it. because that doesn't serve me. That's negative. I now know that I love myself. And so now I'll feel myself kind of start spiraling sometimes. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not kind. What are you doing? You need to stop. And so that will jolt me. But there's that meditation, which I need to do more often. Just making myself turn off the world for 10 minutes a day is huge for me. Huge. And just sitting with my own thoughts, or listening to a meditation and staying in tune with what's going on in my body and what are the thoughts and the feelings that occur and where do they occur and what color are they and blah, 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 blah. Like, it's all woo-woo stuff, but it's helped. And then, like, one of my favorite things to do if I'm in the car, I can't just hang on guys, I gotta meditate for 10 minutes. Like, I'll do the grounding technique. You want to see how much of a nerd I am?
Mm-hmm. I do.
I have 2 things on my desk. Actually, no, I have 4, but I'm not going to show you the other 2 today. That could be for another episode. I have 2 things that I look at every day. It's grounding techniques. There we go. So should we do that? Right. I'm going to do it with you right now. Yeah. Have you ever done it?
All right. I haven't.
This is what I'm going to do. This is what you're going to do.
Okay.
So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
I want you to name 5 things you see. You can say it to yourself if you want to, but be specific. You can't just be like, oh, I see that. You have to name all 5 of them.
I'll tell you them.
You want? Okay. Okay.
I see my Lego Dobby.
Okay. What color?
He is tan and wearing a brownish outfit with a
too
book.
Detailed. Too detailed. Too much. Oh, too much. I'm just kidding. Number 2.
I see my half-started paintings.
What's the number 1 color that comes out?
Green.
Okay. 3rd.
I see my giant water bottle.
Okay. What color is your water bottle?
Kind of a pinkish, like a blush.
You're ruining my...
Sorry. I see my dad's 12-string box guitar.
Okay. Last one.
And I see my microphone in front of me.
What color is your microphone?
Black. Like my soul.
Like your soul. I love saying the color because it makes me pause an extra second.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 things you see. Now, I want you to close your eyes. What are 4 things that you can feel?
4 things. I can feel the air from my Beyonce fan.
I love it.
I can feel the chair that I'm sitting on.
Where do you feel that?
I feel it. I feel the armrest on my leg because I have my leg tucked up. Okay. I feel the cooling blanket that I'm sitting on because my chair has a rip in it on my hands and my legs.
That's real. Okay, one more.
I feel myself under my hands.
Yeah. Okay, now keep your eyes closed.
Okay.
Besides my voice, what are 3 things that you can hear?
I don't know if I'll be able to hear a whole lot since I have my headphones on.
Well, okay, take one ear out.
Okay.
Smarty pants.
I hear the fan.
Okay.
I hear you. I have to. You're there. Yeah. And honestly, that's all I hear right now because this is a very quiet room.
Yeah, that's true. You're in soundproof room. Okay, that's fine.
I am. Okay.
Okay, I'll add to it. I can hear an airplane over my head because that's always happening. All right. So 2 things that you can smell. This is kind of hard.
The coffee that I spilled everywhere in my room.
Okay.
And my eucalyptus.
There you go. All right. Now, 1 thing you can taste.
My Diet Coke I just had a sip of.
Love it. Open your eyes. How do you feel?
Good.
You feel like you're back in yourself.
I mean, I didn't feel like I was out of myself.
You ruined it. You ruined it. You ruined it. Anyway, I hope this helped you at home because this helps me. And P.S., by the way, I fully understand how this can be a lot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's the 5th one? What's the 4th one? So sometimes I'll just do like my favorite, like I'll do 3, 3, 3, and I'll just do the quick ones like what can you see, what can I feel, and what can I hear? 3, 3, 3.
No, and so I like that you gave me that little example because that's something you do daily.
Every day.
That is not something that I do daily. So I like knowing that for you.
Yeah. It's anytime like I can feel myself like rev up, that's my cue to like, oh no, I'm about to jump out of myself. I need to come back in. And then daily journaling, guys. You don't have to daily journal, but check in with yourself. And I'm shaky as AF right now because I have not taken my anxiety meds this afternoon. So Whitney, how are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm feeling honestly calm and yeah.
All right. How is your body feeling?
Tired from sitting in this chair.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What are you grateful for?
I am grateful for my family and my friends. Like, yeah.
What are your needs today? Or at least one need for just you?
I need to get past this mental block I feel like I have for getting back into my painting.
Ooh, okay. How are you treating yourself?
With a Diet Coke.
No, but how are you like talking to yourself? Like how are you treating yourself? Yeah.
Honestly, it's been good. Since I see this career transition for me, I am so much happier than I was like a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
So I don't have this you're failing at it all thing going on. Nice. Now I have this huge event on Monday that I'm making like a balloon arch for, and it's a faculty appreciation and it's a fiesta theme. And I have this really cute sign I made that says, "Holy guacamole, y'all are awesome. Taco bout appreciation." Because I'm a dork and those are the things I love to do. And I'm so like excited about it.
You know how I knew it was like you were like you completely own that thing and you were like you're like in my banner, like you were just like, let me tell you about this banner. You did a head thing and everything. Ma'am. It was for those, we are on YouTube. So what's your goal today?
It's a sad goal, but we need to tell my son about shadow facts. Yeah. So not all goals are happy.
What helped you when you were like stopping drinking? Because I said like some of my like go-to things, but what are some of your tips and tricks?
So first off, telling your partner, telling whoever it is that you're, so that they can understand what you're going through and that you're making this change in life and they can support you for that. That was a big
feel
one.
The feelings. Feel the feelings.
Feel the feelings. Yes. Second, I used Reddit. Reddit Stop Drinking. And I was on it constantly. And I finally like put in, here's the day I'm going to stop drinking. So it could count. It was a day counter for you. And I would read people's stories, or I would comment, or I would put my story out there. Very little did I put my story out there. It was more of me reading other people's stories and what they're going through, which is very similar to what this is that we're trying to do. Is we're trying to have a place where people can find those stories of similar situations that people are going through and understand that none of them are the same. Some had terrible experiences and they hit rock bottom, but they didn't just hit rock bottom. They went like 20 feet beyond that and even further down. There were some that hadn't experienced that rock bottom. There were some that were similar to what I was going through as a mom or a dad, and reading other people's stories was so important to me. Then finding tools. I read this book, This Naked Mind by Annie Grace, and I actually listened to it. I love audiobooks, and listening to it was kind of the turning point for me of having the craving to want to drink and trying to get past that craving to, I really don't want to do that. And I'm fortunate to be a person that can say that when I did decide I was done drinking, I was done. I didn't have a slip up, 5 years in, but it's also having grace for yourself if you have a slip up. It's not about not failing. It's about getting back up if you fail. And that was a lot of the stories that I read from others who, after a year of being sober, were like, well, I can do this again. And reading those stories to me was like, no, this is it. I can't ever do this again. It's done for me. So, and then deciding how I wanted to explain to others why I stopped drinking. And at the beginning, it was very much it doesn't serve me. So, but for me, those were the biggest pieces. Was you have to take it a moment at a moment, a minute at a minute, a day at a day. And reading the other stories for me was so important. Some people do go through AA. I didn't. I didn't know how to do that with being at home at night with just my son while my husband works. I wasn't overly interested in the 12-step or religious version of it. And again, I found my own way to do it. Oh, that hyper independence. But, and then I have not stopped carrying one of these bad boys around. Always being prepared.
Helps. Yes.
It does.
I meant to also talk about, there's an ADHD book, hello words, that I've read, which we can link in the notes, and I can't remember the name of it right now, and my phone is recording my beautiful face right now. So, but another book called Codependency No More is what actually opened up my eyes to what codependency was, because I didn't think, I've always prided myself on being independent and always figuring it out and being able to be solo on things, but that's not what codependency is. So that really helped hone in the meaning of that and how that is fit in my life. And it's interesting how parts of codependency, ADHD, anxiety, how they all like mold together. So go find any tool that you can. Ask people, what they're going through. I think we'll continue to talk about things that are helpful for us. It was fun to go through that exercise with you.
I just had a thought too on your whole, like talking about your codependency. I feel like sometimes where I have this hyper independence is where I will make a decision without talking to my spouse about it and then get him upset with me. What? And I don't know if it's just, why would I do something like that? Like it's a coping mechanism, I'm sure, but it's definitely something that I just thought about. I was like, oh dear God, this is probably why I've done this or that, and just made a decision like, oh, I'm going to show up with 2 kittens because we need kittens. When you specifically said don't get kittens.
Their names are
feta queso and Parmesan formaggio.
They're adorable.
Yes. And I do not use either of their names in any of my passwords. So don't worry about it, peeps.
Oh.
You can't get into my stuff.
Right.
No, but I do think that maybe there's that that hyper independence where I'm like, well, I'm just going to make this decision. I feel like this is the right decision, and just then I'll do it. And then I'm like, hey, you're a partnership. Oops.
Yeah. I think I always thought I would be good at that. And then in the last month or 2, I've been like, oh, I guess I haven't been as good about that as I thought. So yeah, no, that's a serious conversation. I think part of it is you're so used to, for so long, making your own decisions and doing your own thing, and just like, oh, it's already done. You're welcome, And it came out great. And when it comes out bad, then whatever, you figure it out and you just, push forward. But when that actually impacts another person, because you guys are a team, so.
And maybe I made those decisions because I felt like I wasn't making the right decisions at work or something. And I needed to make a decision that was right. And I just made it, and then it wasn't right. And
sometimes you just need a win. You just need a win sometimes, like a Diet Coke.
Burnout, it isn't weakness. It's a message from your body, your soul, your life, that something needs to change.
It's a data point, and there's no shame in it. A lot of people out there are burned out, don't even realize it. A lot of times the people who would judge you for that have never gone through that yet. They just haven't hit their wall yet. Everybody hits that wall, man. Everybody hits it.
We continue our series, one more episode next week. We are going to talk about falling short and letting go. That will end our launching series of Am I Enough? And we're very grateful for you guys joining us.
We're so grateful to have this, just have this conversation with you.
DM us if you want to connect.
Our website is useyourfear.com. You can email the podcast at podcast@useyourfear.com. And you can always find us on social media at Use Your Fear. We got all the things.
YouTube, and we're still working on our Patreon, but that should hopefully be up by the time this gets launched. So find us everywhere. We are there.
This isn't going to be the last time we talk about burnout or any of these other things. Like when I was stuck in something, I couldn't find a person who was going through it because nobody wanted to admit it. And so that's what this podcast is for.
But no, we are not here to fix fear. We're here to stay in it with the questions with you. So
definitely not here to fix fear. We're here to sit with it, identify it, because that's the only way you can use it to move yourself forward. And
it's in here.
What's that?
I go, it's in here.
Thank you for listening to Use Your Fear podcast. Oh, great. Have a great day. Have a great day. Bye. Bye.
Thank you guys
we gotta
so
get the
much
fuck out
for
of here.
being with us. Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love ya. Bye.